The next thing we're going to introduce is the Hytorc Smart Stud. Now obviously the Hytorc Smart Stud incorporates the clamp mechanical tension nut that we discussed earlier. But what we do is we actually manufacture this with a stud that can be screwed into a housing or a framework of any kind, and it works quite well. Where these things really work nice too is on a large diameter Allen bolts, for example. Something like this. This is an 1 3/4 Allen bolt, so we can all appreciate that if this was screwed into a framework and we're trying to deal with a large Allen bolt, with a snipe or something like that is very difficult. Or even with a Hytorc MXT machine with a hex drive, we still have to try to fight and find a reaction point, which is often difficult and at times impossible to do. So I've got some examples here of actual applications we've operated with this, and just to give an idea before I show the demonstration here. Here's an example here where we've got an inner and outer set of bolts. Now the Smart Stud actually screws in to this, this rounded barrel housing here like that, so it just shows how each set of bolts goes in like that. Another couple examples are here. Here's an example like this, for example, where this is coming through this way and screwing into this framework here. And on the other side here is a good example of our standard clamps that we looked at earlier. And this shows here the through bolt coming up. We've got our standard clamps on these guys. But these 3 bolts here are screwed into the housing, so you get the idea of what our little simulator is going to do for us here. So these just simply screw in to the housing. And the nice thing about this is, just because of the mechanics and design of the Smart Stud, when we're tightening this bolt, it's got no chance of going down and mushrooming out inside this housing here. The bolt itself wants to pull out away from the hole, and that's another thing our customers like because there's no chance of it going down and mushrooming. So that being said, we can manufacture these studs to whatever thread or bolt grade you have. Thread pitch, etc. is not a problem. Stud size is pretty much unlimited, and our temperature range is up to 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. So what we'll do is, again, our little simulator here, you can see where the stud is going to actually stop. So we'll just install this now. And of course, you're going to have your lubricant on that you require, just like you do with your clamp, with your own preferred coefficient of friction, etc. So we get this thing started, and then what we have is a little rundown adapter like this. It simply goes in to the top, and then we just run it down and seat the Smart Stud by hand. So we'll just go like this and run it down. And for most applications, hand tight or finger tight is adequate for a preload. So we just go like that. Now we're ready to go. We take the Avanti machine, just simply install it onto the clamp. Our pump pressure will be set to whatever your required application is needing, and away we go here. Again, no more crazy going. When the other sleeve finally stops turning, the other sleeve stops turning. This one's done. We've now put a straight axial stretch on that bolt with no side load, no torsion, no reaction points. And because we can position the tool 360 degrees around, you can understand if we're going into a very tight corner. Radius issues, this is where the clamp and the Smart Stud really shine. For loosening, all we do is simply reverse the process. We'll just take this out, change our drive direction onto the loosened side of the tool, and we'll break this bolt loose here. Again, it's a very, very effective system for tight corners. And so we'll just change our drive around here. It's very simple to do. And now, again, we'll just position the Avanti machine, and we'll break the bolt loose. That's all there is to it. And then again, of course, we just install a rundown adapter, and we run the unit out. And the nice thing about this is, because again, we're not dealing with no torsion, no side load, when we're releasing the load of the bolt, it's a straight axial stretch that we apply to it. So again, when we release the bolt, it's a much more effective process than fighting with a conventional torque machine. So we'll just run it out. When you finally get your fingers on it, it's just easier to do with your hand. So we'll just run it out. And there we go. So you can see it's a much more effective system than trying to fight with large diameter Allen bolts, or again, where you've got a bolt that's going into a housing or pump casing. They work very well. So we've had great success with these, and we hope to get more out in different industries as well.